was like a Fozzie Bear Muppet scream at the end there. Like, ah! Wow.
Oh, no.
Well, as Kevin Naki so eloquently described to us,
Yes.
This is it. It all comes down to this TVT on Tal'Darim Altar to decide who goes home and who is or who gets knocked out of the tournament and who goes on. And here in the upper left part of the map, in the pink from the team, it's GoSu. It is STX, a very good North American Terran player, and his opponent, winner of the last game, finally knocking out its GoSu Huangsin. It is coL.Heart.
That's right. You really are Han Solo. You can decipher
Yeah.
your co-casters at any stage.
I will not make a comment on that statement.
It's all right. Got your back.
Thank you.
So, Tal'Darim Altar. We're close positions vertically.
Yep.
And still a very big map despite that fact. But a couple of key things to note. Heart, of course, will have a little bit more accessibility to dropping his opponent's main straight away.
Yeah.
Of course, once he goes to 3-base, it kind of flips on its head a little bit, and STX will have a bit of the advantage. Heart, though, going to decide to go gas first.
Interesting.
STX
All right.
going to put up that pretty normal barracks right away.
Man, it's so crazy that it comes down to a mirror matchup like this. I mean, all the mirror matchups, even TVT, which is some would say the least volatile of the mirror matchups, is still very, very volatile, right?
Yeah.
I mean, something as simple as a Cloak Banshee in at the right time can end the game so quickly for one of the players. I mean, so it's crazy. I'm on the edge of my seat, man. I mean, this is torture. This is not fair.
All right. Well, market differences in the build so far, of course, as we saw that gas first versus a pretty conventional barracks and then gas right afterwards. Now, we've seen a few times, at least I have, in TVT, we'll see the player that decides to go gas first will stick on that single gas for a longer period of time. Lines up really nicely with some sort of a Hellion medevac push. You could also have those uncloaked Banshees. And then on the flip side, we'll often see the person who went for gas after barracks go for a second gas a little bit quicker and delve a little bit heavier into tech. Not saying that's explicitly what's going to happen, but it's been a trend that I've kind of noticed lately.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like no matter what happens, it all ends up at Marine Tank lately. And I mean, I know STX is a big Marine Tank player. I mean, that's kind of how he always has played. It's the safest way to play in TVT, so it wouldn't be too surprising to see something like that. And, yeah, there is the factory right away at Tech Lab going down. Now, this is kind of interesting. A Tech Lab next to the factory. Okay.
Ooh.
So I wonder what Heart has planned. He's getting a second gas as well. Could certainly still be Banshees, actually. I mean, sometimes you do see that very quick Tech Lab, and it was gas first. So, yeah, I think we are going to see Banshees from Heart. STX, in the meantime, going for what will be reactored Hellions, which may actually not do too well if Heart is going for Banshees because there will be less anti-air, less Marines to handle it. Yep. It's a pretty tense situation right now. The wall is not done, too, so Heart is going to get in and see everything he wants. Oh, man, the Marines out of position, watching for a Reaper, and just not being there when they needed to be.
And he's going ahead and going for a command center pretty quickly on as well. So you mentioned the complete lack of anti-air, and that starport is very nearly finished up. So,
yep, and it's going to be Cloak, actually, too, if you look at the gas for Heart. And so this could be a bit tense for STX. He's going to have to defend this really well if he wants to have a chance of winning this game.
And Heart scouted quite a bit later, but yet was still able to find his opponent first because he scouted in the correct direction. Both players scouting counterclockwise. Heart was able to find that first. The pinger actually pinged out here, and there's nothing.
That's right, that's a cliff.
Is that what they were looking at? Was this poor SCV that's trapped?
He's in there. He's in the bush. So. I don't think he's actually trapped. I think he can get away.
Well,
maybe.
Should be Cloak started up. There it goes.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And starting the Banshee before Cloak. Interesting choice there. A lot of Terran players will decide to get the Cloak first, but we've also been seeing a lot of Terran players come in with a Banshee, do a little bit of stuff, try to fake out their opponent, get them to use a Mule to convince them that they don't have Cloak, and then come in with like 2 Banshees with Cloak and then just really do a lot of damage. So there's a very good chance that that's what Heart is deciding to do here. And I love those really little subtle things that you see in StarCraft 2 over time. You know, nobody used to do something like that, but it's becoming a fairly common.
And don't forget, he got in before and saw, oh, wait, you only had 2 Marines? What,
yeah,
you're reactoring out some Hellions?
Well, there's a Viking on the way.
Whatever you have sitting out there, and there is indeed a Viking on the way. So, let's see. Are these Hellions going to be able to spot the Banshee?
He just barely missed it. Oh, he had the right idea, but the timing was just slightly off, and the Banshee is going to get in and potentially do some damage. Only 4 Marines out right now, plus a Viking. So STX is still in decent shape here. He's going to need to respond really well with this.
That's right. Heart's control has been on point so far.
Where's that Viking?
pick off one of those Marines. Now the Viking finally making its way out. He's got to save up for a scan. He does have one available.
Yeah, it's got 2 orbitals, and that'll help out quite a bit. And look at this, yeah, Heart not using Cloak until the very last moment. And where's that scan for STX? He needs to use it now. He can't lose too much here.
That's right, and he has already lost quite a bit.
There it is.
Finally, the Banshee does go down, but number 2 is coming in right behind, and another scan is still a few seconds off.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to lose a couple SCVs here, but the Banshee taking the long way around, so he should be able to handle this.
So let's go ahead and take a look at things now. It is 27 workers apiece for our 2 players. Of course, STX is arriving at the conclusion of this game a little bit quicker because he's already moving into Marine Tank. Banshee's going to swing back in now and try and pick off a couple more workers, which it looks like it does. In fact, 2 more to be exact. And Heart just playing so annoyingly well with that Banshee, despite the fact that it's been picked up on quite fast.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, STX trying to get into that position so the scan will be worth it, and Heart just microing like a boss here.
No kidding.
Wow, that's actually really impressive micro to be able to do something like that. In the meantime, he is building things behind this, actually going very, very heavily on one base, just making sure he's got plenty of SCVs out of those 2 command centers before he moves out and takes that natural. He's just playing so safe right now.
And Dancing Hellions, unfortunately, one of them does go down. Banshee's pretty much everywhere, though. He did make a 3rd one, so the extra DPS is certainly going to be helpful when the eventual attack comes as well. It does set back his eventual air production, or I should say his conventional air production in Medivacs and Vikings a little bit, though.
Yep, STX is the first person to take his 2nd expansion, so he will have that slight economic lead, but he lost a couple SCVs, too, so he's still in a position where he may just be in a little bit of trouble. Oh, there's the scan, and does he get it? He does. He gets that Banshee. I think there's still one out there. Yep, there it is. All right. So he's not out of the woods completely yet, but he does have missile turrets in both mineral lines. So overall, it seems like the Banshee Menace is at an end for this game.
Banshee Menace,
the
indeed.
Banshee Menace.
So they're pretty even on workers right now, and pretty even count of mules. Again, it mostly just comes down to army composition. 2 Vikings versus the 1 Banshee in the air for STX versus Heart. Pretty similar number of Marines, though. Let's see where the upgrades are at. Stim Pack is on the way. Combat Shield's already finished. Oh, Heart swinging back in, though, when this army is out of position, and he's actually killing a lot of workers.
Yeah, no kidding. That Banshee is up to 10 kills already.
Oh,
and
wow.
that could be a little bit better for STX. That is not good. That Banshee got a ton of kills. What's the worker count right now? I'm curious.
Let's see here.
It's going to be 35 to 31. So it's pretty close still, but 14 SCVs does hurt a little bit, and there's a pretty strong follow-up push that we're going to see from Heart as well.
That's right.
Tank count's still even, and there are 3 Vikings out for STX. So in a straight-up fight, I think STX would still be a little bit ahead, and he's actually pushing right now too. Oh, man, but losing more Marines on the way, this is such an awkward timing for STX.
Yeah, no kidding. So this Banshee still just continuing to do so much damage for Heart, even though it's largely been neutralized. Looks like he may even be able to pick off a Hellion here in a second as well, and does. So just continuing to get so many kills. Oh, pops out a cloak, though, fortunately not seen by those Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, if you look right now, too, STX has a little bit of extra gas that he kind of would like to spend, and the reason that we have that is because he's got, guys in gas, but he's been losing SCVs and minerals consistently, so his gas is going to get a little bit higher than he would prefer. He's going to be able to use it on upgrades and tanks and things like that, but so far, things a little bit shaky. He's also down on supply, too, so Heart has been able to really chip away at him in this early part of the game, but Hellion's in the main base now.
That's right. STX able to actually just kind of run those straight in. He hasn't killed any workers yet, but there, the first couple are dying, and more are going to fall after that as well. He's killed 3 SEVs. Hasn't done there. The 4th one finally does fall, so gets a few workers back. 6 workers killed to 14 now. The overall worker count favoring STX, but only slightly.
Yeah, every little bit helps, though. I mean, in a TVT situation like this, in any sort of mirror matchup, any little tiny advantage you can get is going to go a long way. Heart more or less giving up the air advantage at this point, not making a single Viking as of yet, just going for medevacs.
That's right. And
after
Marines.
Banshees and Marines. Yeah, look at that huge Marine count. That is going to be a huge problem for STX unless Heart makes a really bad decision when he attacks.
And look at that, Heart just ducking in there with the Banshee one more time, sneaking out another kill and a little bit of damage on those Marines. There's still no combat shields finished up for STX at all, or Stim, so not only does he have less Marines, they're totally unupgraded.
Yeah, I mean, Heart's just got such a great plan. Killing enough Marines to move in and do this attack. Is it going to be enough? That's a great tank spread for STX, but I don't know.
Oh my god.
So many Marines.
Yeah, and the last tank is going to go down. Now a 30 supply advantage for Heart. He's going to continue rolling through the middle of the map. Yep. What does STX have to defend? Looks like just one tank back at home. The tank count has now gone to his opponent.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised that STX stayed out in that side of the map for so long. Pulling back now, he barely gets the tank away. He should repair that right away. But it's going to be such a difficult position for STX to come back from at this point. I mean, that siege up on the low ground is so deadly. And look out, SCVs.
Oh, no. So that worker's killed is going to skyrocket here in a second. Whoa! Taking a few mules with that as well. Yeah. STX trying to hold on, but he lifts up his orbital command preemptively. Doesn't want to take any unnecessary damage on that. And Heart's really just kind of slow pushing his way into his opponent's base now.
Well, Heart, I mean, really has played a masterful TVT up to this point, really focusing on killing what's important. And here he comes up the ramp. Will he be able to do it? He still has the tank advantage. His Marines getting taken up very quickly. This is a little bit more even, but he still has that higher tank count. GG.
Oh, and GoSu is knocked out of the tournament, and Complexity has advanced 5-4. What a ridiculous match.
Yeah, such a close game.